Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 10 brawlers in the game right now. So the update only dropped like a day ago, but you guys are just frantic when it comes to asking for the best brawlers. So a lot of these might be predictions, but I can quickly tell that some of these are super strong. So of course, we're going to be starting off with the 10th best brawler in the game right now. We still have Piper. So Piper has risen to glory ever since the damage buff a couple of months ago. It's really helped her out because she used to just be this type of brawler which used to be okay on Shooting Star and other long range maps, but now she's a go-to S tier pick on all of those long range maps. So every single bounty and knockout map, she literally is the queen of those game modes once again. And you can actually use Piper on other game modes as well. You can use her again in Heist. Previously, other mids were a lot more readily available, like Bell, for example, but Piper is amazing there. And even she can be used as a gem carrier now in Gem Grab because of that damage buff. And then, ever since this update as well, the great thing about Piper is that, of course, the ambush star power got buffed, so some extra damage on those bushy maps. She really does pack a punch at the moment, and with the right player, she can absolutely hard carry. So jumping into the 9th best brawler in the game right now, I went with Gray. But just before we briefly talk about Gray, we're going to be going through the honorable mentions. So there's about 5 or so brawlers which could have easily been in the top 10 as well. Recently, Shelly received a nerf. I think it's going to push her just outside the top 10. She's still going to be pretty good, especially because she's got a hypercharge, but I just don't think you're able to chain your super as well now. It definitely is noticeable, but she's still like an 80 brawler minimum at the moment. Tara, of course, still really strong with her pets, but her pets didn't get scaled up, so I feel like she'll fall down just a little bit. Sandy is very strong at the moment. Rude Sands got buffed, and just Sandy was already one of the better brawlers in the game in the previous meta. Crow and Colette as well. Crow recently received a nerf to his slow and toxin. I think that's really going to hurt him, but he's still going to be easily an A tier brawler. And Colette recently got a hypercharge, and that just seems so strong. But I'm not too sure how it's going to fare off on certain game modes, but it's very strong in Heist in particular. But now we're going to be talking about Gray. So Gray is, of course, a fantastic option. He's so solid across the board right now. You can pretty much go him everywhere in Knockout and Bounty. 4 Walking Canes is the main reason why he's so strong. And then there's just so many cheesy strategies with Gray as well. He's got a very cheesy strategy in Hot Zone where you pair him with like a Jackie or any tank. You just need one super literally from spawn into the zone, and you can just keep cycling over and over again. It's very cheesy. He's pretty good when it comes down to Brawl to make plays as well. He's pretty much usable everywhere except for Heists, and I still see him sometimes used to counter throwers. So for me, Gray is in an unbelievable spot right now. So now jumping into the 8th best brawler in the game right now, I went with Pearl. So Pearl's in a little bit of a weird spot because we yet to really see her in competitive at the moment, but I think whenever I'm playing ladder, just overall in Power League as well, she feels incredibly strong. It only takes, I would say, a couple of seconds to really feel the pure power in Pearl's shot. And recently she got a small change to a hypercharge. I don't think it makes the biggest difference, but just Pearl having a hypercharge already has a little bit of an advantage over some of the other brawlers because there's only like 12 in the game right now, so already she's got that advantage. And of course, again, like I said, she just absolutely shreds. She recently received a small nerf to her overcooked gadget, but it's still very strong, especially just making sure that the opponents are not regenning. That's just such an important element of a brawler's kit, you know, just like Crow's Poison, for example. But you look at every single game mode as well, and you can pretty much always use a Pearl. And there's just so many situations where if the enemy lets you heat up, you're able to literally one-clip them. That's how strong she is right now. Don't underestimate Pearl because she's very strong. So jumping into the 7th best brawler in the game right now, I went with Nani. So Nani, just like Piper, is no joke in the meta right now. Ever since they received that damage buff literally 2 months ago, it's just completely broken them on Bounty and Knockout. They're the go-to ban every single time. And the crazy thing about Nani is that now you can literally use Nani as a gem carrier, as a mid in Brawl and Heist as well. She does insane damage. And of course, there is sometimes a little bit of a skill issue with Nani because she's actually one of the hardest brawlers to use. I think if she was a little bit easier to hit shots with, like Piper or another sharpshooter, then she would be literally like the best brawler in the game because of the amount of damage she does. She can literally one-shot and two-shot so many different brawlers, and even tanks get absolutely shredded by Nani at the moment. So definitely don't underestimate Nani. Learn to play her, but of course you can't really play her on the bushy maps. She's still pretty awkward to play there, but the more open the map, the better she's going to pop off. So jumping into the 6th best brawler in the game right now, you guys might say I'm overreacting with this one. We'll have to wait and see, but I think it's Lou. I've played Lou for probably like 3 or 4 hours now, And I just feel like he's very strong. People are, I wouldn't really say underestimating the Lu Hypercharge, but I think it's going to shoot him right up in the meta. Again, might be overestimating in number 6, but it easily is an A-tier brawler right now, in my opinion. So the main reason why this is so broken is the super chaining. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get your first super because, of course, loose shots are a little bit awkward. But once you get that first super, you can then use your Syro Syrup gadget and then chain your supers that way, and then you can get your first hypercharge. And then once you get that first hypercharge, you can just throw supers out so fast. You literally instantly freeze an opponent when you hit them with the hypercharge, and then what that enables you to do is get 2 quick pieces of ammo onto them. And once you get 2 pieces of ammo, you have your next super, and then you can chain it again, chain your hypercharge again. I think he's so dumb right now. He looks so broken. Again, he might just, people might learn how to counter him in the next few days or so. But from my initial reaction, I think he's way too strong. Literally everywhere I used him, he seems pretty game-breaking. So now we're jumping into the best 5 brawlers in the game right now. Starting off with Cordelius. So this might be a little bit surprised to you guys because he's kind of just worked his way back into the meta out of nowhere. But I think he's so incredibly strong. I think the extra gadget gear really did help him out because you can have 4 poison mushrooms on those really bushy maps. And then elsewhere, you can just use the replanting gadget and get so much value. You can just go around the map so easily and chain your supers really fast. And I think people have just adapted a lot better to use his supers. So for example, before you could just chain your supers like crazy and just deal absurd amounts of damage, but now good Cordelius players can use their super and just get themselves into a good position and land yourself on top of another opponent. So getting yourself like super an opponent, you don't even have to kill them. You can just run somewhere else and get yourself into a good position, like in Brawl, for example, get behind enemy lines. It's very strong, and the fact that as well tanks have came to the meta, it's helped Cordelius get his super even more. He's really underrated right now. I think he has to be one of the best for sure. So jumping into the 4th best brawler in the game right now, I went with Fang. So Fang only received 1 small tiny nerf with the last set of balance changes. It was like a 4% damage nerf, which doesn't really change a single interaction. And even if it did change an interaction, you could just put the damage gear on top of Fang, and then that just makes his super way more easier to get value out of. His main attack, it just shreds people. And of course, the thing about Fang, which everyone is annoyed about or just frustrated about when they face off against him, is the fresh kick style power. The fact that you can just get your super back so easily now is just insane. He's so annoying to deal with. You also have 4 roundhouse kicks, 4 stuns, which is just crazy to me. So Fang still is at the top of the meta. The nerf did literally nothing to him. So jumping into the 3rd best brawler in the game right now, I went with Buster. So Buster has just been busted for a little while now. Again, just like Fang, he received a nerf, but it was tiny. It was like a 4 or 5% damage nerf, which again is going to do literally nothing to him. The fact that he has 4 slow-mo replays, I think, is the main reason why he's so broken right now. The fact that you can just get a free kill 4 times in a game is just absurd to me. You have the slow effect as well, so even if you don't confirm the kill, just slowing them is just such an annoying thing to have. You've also got the fact that in Brawl, he literally has a free goal using that gadget, and just overall he's able to get so much control if you have a good team by your side as well. Buster, everything about him right now is so incredibly strong. Okay, so now jumping into the 2nd best brawler in the game right now, I went with Rosa. So Rosa got a brand new hypercharge into the game. I don't think it's like game breaking like the actual hypercharge, but just the fact that she's got this ability to get extra movement speed, an extra shield as well, and extra damage alone is just insane. And the slowdown effect with her super is very strong indeed. And the broken thing about Rosa, or just any tank in general with hypercharge, is the fact that they'll be cycling the hypercharge a lot quicker, because with the tank trait, it enables them to build up their super and their hypercharge as well. It's just an insane combination. Of course, with Rosa as well, she can get so much of her super back when she has a super popped, if that makes sense, because she just has such a high damage reduction. It's just insane. You're able to change supers so easily. For me, she has to be one of the best brawlers in the game easily. And before the update, before the hypercharge anyways, she was the top 5 brawler easily in terms of competitive stats and just overall how she dominates on ladder as well. Just be very scared of Rosa. I think it's going to be a pretty sketchy meta indeed. Okay, so now jumping into the best brawler in the game right now, I went with Chuck. So Chuck Probably it's the most cheesiest brawler I've ever seen in Brawl Stars history. It's just so crazy to me how, I mean, it is fun in one sense, but at the same time, it's so frustrating to be on the other side of things. So if you're unaware of what I'm talking about, on several game modes and maps, you can literally, well, it takes like, I don't know, 30 seconds to set up the post. What you can do from your own spawn, you can go to the enemy spawn. With a click of a button and a gadget, you can go through walls, and there's nothing that the opponents can do. You go so incredibly fast. I believe it's like a damage reduction with this super as well. I don't know whether that's like a glitch or something, but it seems to me that you deal no damage to Chuck when he's in his super. He goes so fast, and he deals so much damage with his super as well. So in Heist, I've seen so many cheesy strategies on every single Heist map where you can just, well, the cheesiest one is Safe Zone, where you can just keep going back and forth, dealing absurd amount of damage, and you can't do anything about it. It is completely broken. It's a free rank 35, and even though he received a nerf, so he don't actually spawn with his super, it's still way too cheesy for me. It's just so many different strategies. Hot Zone, you can do it as well. I think the game modes that he struggles on a Brawl Ball and Knockout because his posts get destroyed, but everywhere else he completely dominates. So let me know down in the comment section below who you think are the top 10 brawlers in the game right now. But that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.